a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep, sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I was one. That's
We got a mess over here.
From downtown, that
Yeah.
fist bump was from.
But we're back, though. We're
so
back. It's been a while, but we are here at the Win Sirius XM Studios. It's the boys, Veterans Minimum, the #1 sports betting vibe on the internet. I'm your host, Nick Dais, at Nick Dais 10 you can find me. The man to my left still got vacation vibes on you.
Oh, of course. I did this the last time I came back from vacation. I think the last time I came back from vacation, I had like a fedora on. And you were like, oh, you're still on the beach, bro. Yeah. But I know I rocked the button down today just because I want to feel fresh. First day back in 3 weeks. It's time. It's time to fire off some takes and to let the people know where the fuck we've been, Nick.
Yeah.
You've had a wild run.
If you could look at me, I do not feel fresh at all.
No.
I still sound like I just woke up because I did about 47 minutes ago.
Yep.
So we're here. We got Antoine in the control room, so he'll be able to make me sound like the stud that I am. But it's a rough traveling day, bro.
Yeah. Okay. So run the people through. You got back here at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. So what time did you leave New York?
I left New York at 10:30.
Yeesh. Which airport?
JFK.
Okay.
Yeah, I left out of JFK, which I'm 34 years old. JFK and LGA, LaGuardia, have been having construction my whole life. Like it's been a shit show my whole life. So I got in, but let me tell you the craziest part, bro. I almost missed my flight to New York when I left out of Vegas.
How do you do that?
So I anytime I go away for longer than like 5 days, I bring the puppy with me. I bring Darce. So he's my carry-on because he's under 20 pounds, so he's a carry-on. The TSA agent is like, hey, you could put him through the metal shit, or you could just hold him. I was like, I would like to hold him. I go, hey, should I take his collar off? No, it's fine if it's just a pup. I'm like, all right, cool. I go through the thing. Alert goes on. Oh, we gotta, you got flagged. We gotta check you. I was like, all right, cool. Minute goes by, 2 minutes goes by, 3 minutes goes by, 5 minutes go by. Mind you, you know here in Vegas, that tunnel you gotta go through to get to the airport?
Yeah.
It's shut down. So my flight's at 6:25.
Oh no.
I'm telling you all this, it's 5:55. Right?
It's boarding.
It's boarding. Okay. So I go to the same lady. I go, hey, miss, I've been here about 5 minutes. My flight is boarding. Is there anything we could do? She goes, your flight boarding is not our problem. This could take 5 minutes or it could take 55 minutes. And you know what sucks about that, bro? Because I'm like, yo, it's the puppy. This is what you said. I go, can I get a supervisor? I'm starting to do the Karen shit now.
Bro, hold on.
I'm like,
was this in the morning or was this afternoon?
This is morning.
Oh, 5 a.m. You're getting them fresh fuck you energy from the TSA.
Yeah, like no one who's a TSA agent is happy.
No.
Right? So
definitely not that early.
I go over there. Supervisor comes over. Hey, young man, what's going on? I was like, listen, this is, your coworker said I can hold them. I asked, do I take the collar off? All right, we'll take a look at this. They start going through my bag. I have 9 hard drives with me. All of those get taken out, and they got to be fucking X-rayed. I'm like, yo, I'm a content creator. I'm over at the Win. I'm at the studio. I'm showing them my Win badge. Nothing. I go to the girl. There's 3 buckets, right? So she goes through the first bucket. I go to put my sweater on. She goes, don't touch your stuff until we're done. I was like, you just finished. Like, you put this aside. She goes, nah, you got to wait until everything. I'm starting to fume up. It's 6:05 now. I've checked the bag in. So, like, I've left the bag on the side.
Yeah.
my whole thing, I'm like, I'm fully convinced, bro. I'm not making my flight. But I'm like, fuck, my bag's going to end up shipping. Now I got to wait through that adventure to track my bag, have it come. Do I tell my mom to just go to JFK? Yo, it's the one with the green fucking sneaker shoelace on it. It's a mess, right? I go, yo, can I just take I was like, yo, I'm going to leave. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm going to leave. Like, you're killing me right now. Yo, my flight is boarding. My flight leaves in like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I also got to take the train because you know how here in Nevada, you got to take the train, the little shuttle to take you. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just grab my shit and I'm going to leave. Like, y'all just ruined my whole trip. And now I start lying. I'm like, I haven't been back to New York since I moved here. And this is my first time going back. And, you know, I'm putting that, right? I'm channeling the inner white girl in me where I'm a victim.
Oh,
that's what I'm doing.
Victim.
And
You're
I'm like,
problem.
yo, what the fuck? Like, this is good.
Let him have it.
So the guy goes, yo, so are you sure you want to? I was like, yeah, man, let's just go. Like, this is crazy. Now I'm raising my voice, right? God bless. His name was Bashy. I don't know if it was his nickname or whatever. The guy comes up to me, he goes, hey man, you're going on the New York flight? I go, yeah. He goes, they haven't even started boarding yet. Massive relief off my shoulders. I go, oh, thank God. And I might have let off a word that I would probably lose my job if I said.
Ooh.
They heard me, so that did it. I was like, yo, these fucking morons. They're holding me up. That didn't go too well. Police come. I get patted down by the cops.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, yo, bro, this is crazy. I'm telling the police officer, I'm like, hey man, this is pretty wild.
Oh my God.
I was like, yo, this is pretty crazy, dude. I was like, it's a dog's collar. I'm wearing my It Is What It Is t-shirt, and I'm wearing jujitsu shorts. They don't have pockets. So I'm like, it's not like Cam gave me this Dipset jumpsuit and it got like these crazy fucking buckles and shit. I was like, yo, if it was that, I would understand. They go to escort me out the airport and I'm like, yo, I'm not going to leave. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm gonna try to catch my flight because I was like, this dude right here told me that they haven't even started boarding. He goes, so I had to sign a waiver saying that it's my responsibility if I don't make the flight and all that. I end up making my flight, right? But bro, TSA agents,
right?
People at the DMV, and bouncers at nightclubs. I need to find one more, but like Mount Rushmore power trips. Like, y'all are losers. But you have power over people out of desperation. And now it's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine it's your birthday at a nightclub. And we've given like $500 each. We're going to have a nice table. We have food. We have drinks. And now the bouncer is being a dick to me because I have white shoelaces on my fucking shoes or some shit. And now I'm like, fuck, man. He's like, yo, stay right here type of thing. Now I got to be nice because I don't want him to fuck my whole night up.
Yeah.
And a TSA agent could just be like, you know what? You're not going on your flight. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, you're the people I talk about. Like, y'all just haven't been slapped.
Golf course marshals, you can add to that list as well. Yeah. The people that, so like, prime example is like a tee time's about to start. I tell them like, hey, I know we're supposed to tee off here in 5 minutes, but my buddy said he's 5 minutes away. We'll just tee off as soon as he gets here. And he's like, well, you're teeing off in 5 minutes. Like, I was like, I know you just said that we're teeing off in 5 minutes. I'm letting you know it could be 6. It could be 7. We'll be okay. He's like, well, you need to tee off in 5 minutes. Like, that type of energy is never a good one. So I like that. We got to do that for a Mount Rushmore later on. People that'll power trip you. That's a crazy situation though, Nick. You don't need coffee. Did you have coffee that day?
No, I don't.
No need.
I drink coffee as a like. I would like to have a coffee. I don't need coffee to wake up and like, yo, my mom.
Clearly, bro.
Way different. Yeah, dude. 52 minutes I've been awake now, right? Like, that's not an issue for me. But the other thing that I left off, and this is where I really spazzed out. They weren't going to let the hard drives go through. You know the Lacy's, those orange hard drives? You guys might have seen if you're watching this on YouTube. I've had it Sometimes I'll be transferring files and shit. I'm like, yo, what do you mean you're gonna you take these? No, these aren't allowed on the plane. I was like, bullshit. Just like that. I'm like, yo, bullshit. I've traveled many times with these things. Like, my livelihood's on this. I can't let you. So now they have that over you. It's like when they could be like, oh, yo, you can't have that cologne come on. You're like, well, yo, it's 2.8 ounces. It's supposed to be under like 3.7. Yeah, but nah, we can't have that. And that's $100 cologne maybe. And you're like, fuck, I got to throw this out. And they keep that shit.
Of course, dude.
So it's just the whole trip back. I'm like, man, these fucking people and these jobs, they're such pieces of shit because they have so much power over you. They can alter your vacation. They alter your flight. DMV, it's like, yeah, I got to get my license renewed. And they'll be like, oh, now you got to wait for 4 hours. And if you say anything, they'll be like, oh, we're going to remove your D787. Well, you're going to get moved back. You're like, fuck, man, I don't want to be here anyway.
Yeah.
It's a crazy power trip, bro.
Yeah, that's
crazy power trip. I was at a bar when I was in New York. Last thing, just on this with a bartender, and bro, he was not to me, but I was just a bystander. Like the incident was happening where you were, and like, bro, honestly, the dude wasn't in he wasn't in the wrong, right? It was just like the bar was so packed, and he was asking him to step aside, and the kid was like, "Yo, where do you want me to go?" He's like, "Tell me where you want me to go." Like, it's packed, dude. The bar is probably as big as this studio is. 900 people in it. Like, you couldn't move. It's where I took the picture that I posted on my Instagram. But, bro, the bartender's like yelling at him and getting in his face. And then, like, he grabbed him by the arm and, like, pushed him out. And, like, I know the bartender because he's from my old neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you would never do that to someone that, like, is a threat to you.
Of course not.
Right? So it's like, you're also a fucking loser because you're being a bully to this kid just because you're 6'4" and you're like 230, and this kid's a scrawny like 135 pounder soaking wet.
Yeah,
it's like, damn, bro, that's another like the power trip shit that was getting me really. I was hot. I
could tell. Did you cool down at all? Like, what? Give me a. We've hit some of the lowlights. Highlight from the trip.
When the plane took off, I cooled down. Even when I was on the plane, I was like, yo, my luck, they're going to come in and be like, yeah, we forgot to check some shit. I was pretty hot. But yo, the highlight of the trip for me, honestly, bro, was I spent a lot of time with my parents.
That's huge.
Like a lot of, way more than I ever have. Bro, I'll be honest with you, dude. More than when they come to visit me here. Because when they come to visit me here, I don't have to do as much shit. Right? When I go and I visit New York, it's like, I got to go see the boys. I got to go see the gym. I got to go see my high school. I didn't get a chance to go see them, right? I got to go get dinner with this person. Shit, I haven't seen this person in 4 years, and they're one of my good friends. I constantly talk to them. So it's like I'm constantly leaving. But this trip, there was a lot of times I was like, man, I'm going to just stay home and watch the game with my pops. Because also remember, in New York, games start at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So when the game ends, you're like, oh, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
And then I still had to work and produce all the shows and shit. So that was a cool highlight, man. And then there's this one sushi spot that we go to in my hometown. It's like a tradition. We always.
What's the name? Was it the Wadawa?
Wadawa in Astoria. My favorite restaurant. It's pop, bro. We had like 5 bottles of wine.
Japanese.
Yeah. And every single one was different. I was like, I told the waitress, I was like, bring us some cultured shit and surprise every time. Bro, we had 5, it was 3 of us, 5 bottles of wine, mad sushi. Food was coming like every 45 minutes. We were just ordering more and more. And then we went out and we watched the game. So that was like really fun too. But New York has changed, man. It's changed a lot. I'm not really happy about it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. And it's not even like a political thing at all.
Yeah.
I know like I have a lot of friends like, bro, you don't even know half of it. I'm like, stop. I got to show you a text I got. I was on Bumble and this girl hits me up. First thing she says is, I can't tell if you're left or right leaning.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to put the screenshot right now. That is the text right now, live and in the cut. And I just go, I don't do politics, chill. And I said one of my friends who sings like, oh yeah, is this how girls spit game in New York? I was like, cause look, in Vegas they're like free spirits and like most of them got kids.
For sure.
They don't ask me about what side I lean.
No, they that's a fucking wild statement.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And mind you, my my profile is, you're in one of the photos because it's us here.
Yeah.
There's 4 content photos. You think it's because I was doing jujitsu? This is a jujitsu photo.
No, I just think that the fact that she asked that question without knowing which side you lean on, like, is crazy. Like, you're clearly not left.
I'm not anything.
I know, but
Yeah.
jujitsu is right presenting.
Yeah. It's like a Joe Rogan thing. You're like, oh,
Of
bro.
course.
Yeah, you definitely.
Of course. Content podcast, kind of right leaning, kind of very right leaning. So we fall into that category. So the fact that she was so fucking stupid to
Yeah, that was
ask
funny. That was funny.
Was she a theater major?
I couldn't even. It got me so angry, bro. I just was like, I can't do this.
Probably.
It's just too much for me.
Yeah.
Just too much for me. But so in New York City, they have bike lanes. Have you heard of this?
aware.
You're aware, right?
Yeah.
It's ruined the city. Like it used to be where in a 10 block radius, you'd have 36th Street, it's a bike lane. So you would know, bro, now it's like every block.
Did you get clipped?
No, I didn't get clipped, but it's just more so like people on bikes, they don't give a fuck.
No.
Like they don't obey the no rules.
Nope.
So you got to worry about, in the past it'd be like, I don't want to get hit by an 18-wheeler. Now it's a fucking delivery guy you got to worry about.
Yeah.
Right? It's shit like that.
Oh, bro, they got the Instacart. They got 6 bags on the thing. They're pedaling fast as fuck.
Yeah.
There's a big truck in front of you. I took so many steps in New York where I had to step back. I would almost call it step back city is New York City. Because you fucking take one step, you have to do a double check. You see some flying past you got to fucking hop back.
Yeah.
Happened at least 8 times when I went to New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that there was like one. So everybody would just go to 36th Street if you had a bike.
And you would know, like, try to avoid 36th Street. Like, I could deal with it if it's not excessive.
Now it's every street.
Now it's every street. And I'm like, oh my goodness, bro. It was just a lot and a lot of traffic and all that. We have a lot of sports to get into.
For sure.
It's been a while. We just enjoyed ourselves. Let me be honest. George was on vacation. I'm a piece of shit. I didn't even ask you about your vacation. Costa Rica?
Costa Rica is a fucking, I can't put into words how beautiful it is. 6 hours away. I'm assuming that's kind of like how you feel about Colombia too, with the way that it's just like rainforest. The weather feels fucking awesome. It rained every single night, which was dope.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You like the rain?
I like it when it's every day for 1 hour to 2 hours. I could deal with that. And then it clears up. It's not like constant rain. It wasn't like Portland. You know how Portland, when we were there, it was trash.
Portland sucked.
It was not a good city as far as weather's concerned.
My favorite part of the Portland trip, I don't remember exactly verbatim how it was said, but I think it was like, it was us two. We were in the kitchen and I was like, yo, we should go out and like check out Portland because I'm pretty sure we won't be back here again. And then you were like, yeah, we're probably never coming back here again. I was like, yeah, you're right, bro. You're right.
Of course we're not coming back there. So yeah, but in Costa Rica, it's perfect. It's beautiful, cheap, dollar goes a long way. Big thing out there, Nick, no military. And I only saw one police officer in 7 days of being there, where I don't know about Colombia. Is Colombia pretty police heavy? Because I need references now of countries that are close to it, because I was shocked, bro.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, you're right on Cocaine Highway. It comes right from the Colombian forest straight up through here. But I have a theory as to why there isn't that many police officers.
Okay, tell me.
I think the offshore bookies run Costa Rica, and there's no crime.
Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, El Salvador, Guatemala, old school bookies. There still are.
For sure.
Still are. Anytime, there's still value to having bookies, right? Like, say you and I put a 8-leg parlay and it's Sunday Night Football and it's to win $20,000 and we want to hedge it because we took the favorite in the parlay and now the underdog is getting plus 220. And we're like, fuck, yo, let's throw $10K on the underdog and either we win 20 or we win 12.
Right.
It's gonna be hard for us to come up with 10K to have to go to the casino. Mind you, also it's like we got 40 minutes to fucking make this happen, kind of thing. We have a bookie, puts it on credit. Yeah, your word is good, word is bond. You could do it like that, but I would say like 98. Honestly, 100% of them are in those countries that I mentioned.
Oh, yeah. And so that's why I figure there's no big police presence or no military out there really, because they take care of the country. I found it to be very entertaining to watch their professional soccer league out there.
Whoa, you went to a game?
Didn't go to a game, but when you're out there, they don't have like a fucking American television. So,
right.
By the way, there's ESPN 1 through 6. All those ESPN channels had different soccer games on. So I ended up finding an appreciation of how physical Costa Rican soccer is and how like that country is all predicated around just being really good at soccer. So I think they found a fan in me. I'm going to root for Costa Rica the next time they're in a World Cup type situation or a qualifier, whatever. So Costa Rica was phenomenal. The one story I have from it that is like nuts is we took a sunset cruise on our last day, which there was never a sunset because like I was saying, it always rained like 1 to 2 hours a night. So we go on this boat. We are in the water. The water's 85 degrees, Nick. There's not a single other boat in sight. This is a huge ass lake and nobody around us. We're chilling. We're fucking hammered on Four Locos, and we were handing the boat captain the wax pen a little too much. The boat captain, literally his eyes were like shut. He was driving the boat like this. It was quite the sight to behold. So he's hammered. We're hammered. We just get out of the water that we're swimming in, and lightning struck 75 yards away from us, Nick. Like literally we were in the water 20 seconds before that. We get out of the water. It strikes fucking super close. I just posted on my Instagram story a little thunderstruck video. So go to my Instagram if you want to hear how loud that thing was. But we all sobered up immediately. And we got out of there, but we actually had to fucking stay in the pontoon and go into the storm because the storm was coming in so fast. It was a wild excursion. Like going on vacation and almost dying makes that location and trip all the more memorable. Like, I've never felt this way about Mexico. I've been to Mexico tons of times. I've never almost died. But when you almost die at a spot, you're like, fuck, eternal memories. So I texted you immediately after that. I was like, bro, you almost didn't have a co-host.
Yeah.
I would have got shocked in the fucking water, dude.
That would have been nuts.
Nobody's pulling. By the way, out of everybody that was in the water, Junior wasn't in the water. Good call. That would have been an all-time ESPN story. Brother dies in the fucking lake accident. He tries to save me. I don't make it. Now he's got a why. He's got a real why, you know?
The draft day story would be nuts.
The draft day story would be fucking... You know how much TV time I would get on the next NFL draft if I died in the lake?
Bro, you remember the COVID draft?
I don't.
In 2020, the NFL COVID draft, right? Where Goodell was making the picks from his house.
Oh my God, yes, I do now.
Bro,
yeah.
Every single story was... He was a two-sport athlete in high school, ran track at Texas A&M, and his sister got shot in front of him when he was 14. Bro, I am not kidding. It was like that. If you guys remember, it was like that. Every fucking draft pick was like positive, darkest shit ever to happen to someone. And you're like, oh my God. By the end of this, you're like, dude, there's only 14 picks in my heart. I can't take this no more. What other crazy tragedy happened to someone? It was crazy. It was nuts. I'm telling you, it was the pandemic draft. It was that first one. It was insane.
Well, they were pandering at the time, you know, pandemic, sad. Everybody was in their emotions. So like they had to find it. Maybe it was just pure coincidence that they had all those deaths. But bro, American Idol will find anything.
Oh yeah.
Like, have you seen an episode in the last 2 years? any episode of American Idol, it doesn't even go positive.
Well, bro,
The only positive thing is they can sing good. Everything else in their life blows.
It's classic storytelling WWE shit.
Of course.
It's like, what's the thing that could get us behind the baby face to see them rise?
Correct.
And that's exactly what all that stuff was.
Correct.
But yeah, well, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we're here. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. We've been telling mass stories for like 25 minutes. I think we got to get into some very important stuff. I touched on it briefly, George, when I recorded solo in the studio last week. The NFL schedule. I was able to really sit down and like take a look at it, look it over. There's a couple of things that I find really, really interesting. I thought that was pretty interesting. My team, what the fuck? Like those first 8 is like,
yeah, murderer's row. They didn't.
It's nuts.
I think they want to see a Manning in a Giants jersey, and the Giants are kind of fucking it up by getting all these quarterbacks. I think Dart will actually be really good. I don't think there's any chance in hell that no matter how bad the Giants do this year, that Arch Manning becomes a New York Giant. But if the NFL has got something to say about it, they are going to skew everything to screw you guys over into making you think that that could be the answer. They want Manning in New York. But we get to play each other week 5. And by the way, I checked my schedule. It's an open week. Are we going to New Orleans week 5, October 5th?
What time is that game?
It's a 10. The Saints have no primetime games this year. So it's going to be at 10 a.m.
So 1 p.m.
Yeah, 1 p.m.
1 p.m. New
kickoff.
Orleans.
Yeah.
You know what?
Can we make...
How about this? How many wins do you think both teams have if we go?
Oh, Nick, I'll call it right now. This game's a toilet bowl. Both teams are coming into this 0-4.
Good
And
God.
this is bro.
And this is the game you want to go to.
It kind of is.
Good God
It
Almighty.
kind of is because you don't want the toilet bowl late in the season. You don't want the 2-10 team playing the fucking 3-9 team. You want 0-4, looking for their first win. It's going to be electric. I mean, the Saints will still. I was kind of looking. The cheapest tickets to go to an NFL game week 1 is at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. That kind of was like shocking, but you get tickets for $28 right now. I feel
It's
like
not really shocking because the team isn't expected to be.
I know, but it's week 1.
Yeah, that's true.
It's week 1. I was expecting $28 is like, bro, that's less than what I'm going to pay for dinner tonight for 2 people.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Let's consider it.
Dude, we could buy these tickets whenever. We could buy these from fucking like 30 minutes before kickoff. I don't think we'll spend more than $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what had me most fired up about it. The Saints have no short weeks because of the no primetime games.
Mm-hmm.
That's a positive. One of these teams that have a shitty or a pretty tough schedule they're gonna make it out.
Yo, let me tell you one thing about the Giants, and I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid.
I want you to, bro.
Let me tell you
it's a
something.
good team.
Let me tell you something. No, I'm not going to go that far. I think the defensive line is going to be outstanding. I think teams are going to, my honest assessment right now, I think teams are going to play the Giants and they're going to be pissed off that they'll be going into fourth quarters and like it's 17-14. You're like, why the fuck is it close? I think that defensive line has all-pro potential across the board. Lawrence, Thibodeau on a contract year, which I like. You get Carter. You got Brian Burns. Like the D-line is going to be fucking insane. So they're going to keep them in games. If Jackson Dart is any good, y'all are in trouble. Because he got so much swag, cool as shit, looks the part, acts the part, talks the part.
Yep.
Don't let him be good. Don't, because I've been a punching bag for like 4 years now.
Right.
If he could live up to it and if he could like be a solid quarterback, you got to also remember the Giants are like starving for one.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson is everywhere but the football field, it seems like. He's at baseball games throwing out the first pitch. He's been at every Knicks game. It's like, you better play well. Right?
Oh,
you
yeah.
better
He's
play
worried.
well. You should be. But the schedule for the Giants, it's 2 division games on the road. Then you got the Chiefs, and you got the Chargers back to back. You got a Philly game. It's just rough. So I'm just hoping they could be around. Give me 2 wins. Give me 2-2 going into that Saints game. It might not be a toilet bowl, but they're an underdog in their first 4 weeks. It's tough. The other one that I really wanted to highlight is Buffalo early. They're going to play Baltimore. They're going to play Kansas City. That was something that jumped out to me. They're favored in every game this year, which can be it's good and bad, right? Because like when I do win totals, when I look at strength of schedules, I look at like how many games are you favored in? New England this year, they're favored in 11 games. Last year they were favored in 1.
Yeah.
And it was a 1-point spread. So this goes to show you like the value of a Drake May, Mike Vrabel coming in there, what your schedule is going to look like. Remember, they're playing a 4th place schedule too. And then also like I like what they're doing with the international games, man. I like what they're doing with the international games. I know at the NFL draft, the Chargers made a draft pick in like the 4th or 5th round from Athens. So they're setting up like the Chargers are going to be like the Greece team, which I think could be pretty cool. That could maybe be a future trip one day to go see a game out there. The NFL is expanding. We had Brazil last year. They're going to go back to Germany. They're obviously going to do London. I think you'll see something in Asia sometime really soon. They're just expanding. So yeah, that was kind of like the biggest takeaways. What else you got?
Just to give a quick idea that I think would be amazing. Build stadiums like how they do for the World Cup and just random fucking part. Like, can we play a game in like Newfoundland, Canada, where it's -6 no matter what? And we just call it the Ice Bowl Stadium, and every team's got to play in it, fucking once every 3 years or whatever. That's a fun idea. The Cowboys schedule. The Cowboys got hit with something that's never happened before. And starting week 12, they play the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Vikings in consecutive games. That means they're the first team ever to play 4 teams in consecutive weeks that all had over 14 wins the prior season. That's a pretty shitty spot to be in if you're a Cowboys fan, especially having it start at week 12, which you really want to have your cupcake games, which is why I really like the Giants fall into the category of the team where if they show promise in the first and those 4 tough games to start the year, if they show promise, wait till after they're right before they play the Saints to put in your futures for them. Because then they could go on a little bit of a run. And ideally you want to have your schedule lighten up for you at the end, but that's a shitty spot for the Cowboys. And then to add on to that, they also have the Chargers and Commanders as well in that stretch, which just, it blows. So Cowboys got hit with some shitty stuff. The Eagles won't play a back-to-back game at home this year, which is the first time ever a Super Bowl champion isn't getting back-to-back home games this upcoming year, which I found to be pretty interesting.
Because I think one is an international game
where they're labeled as
the home team.
Yeah.
So then that counts as, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a crazy one.
As a fan too, like you want to build that consistency, So this is good for the league, keeping the birds at bay. Because there's another team too that I get that won't leave. I think it's the Titans. Don't quote me on that. But the last note that I had was that the Chargers are going to be the team with the most traveling miles, the most ever in NFL history. But when you play in Brazil, like that really that throws things off. And it's also every team that's on the coastline.
They're always going to travel.
They're always going to be up there. And I was kind of trying to do the math as far as how many hours of travel more they have. And it's nothing like too crazy.
Well,
it's less than a day behind the person that has the least amount of travel.
I also remember one year vividly, the Giants played a game it was one of the New York teams played a game in London, and Seattle played Miami that year. And it was like, Seattle to Miami is farther
than the London game.
New York to London is.
That's nuts.
So to your point, on the coast, right? That's why, like, you saw, I think it was Kyle Shanahan and McVay, like that umbrella from Jay Gruden in Washington, that iconic photo of all the coaches. They were, at least from what I remember, we're the Niners. We play the Jets and the Giants back to back. We're just going to stay out there. We'll go down to like Virginia Tech or some shit. We'll go somewhere local.
Yep.
Maybe we go to Penn State. We just take over the campus. We have a facility, but we're not going to be doing the traveling back and forth. I just remember that being like, especially in the betting space, it would be like, they're staying out here. So don't worry about West Coast coming east and all that type of shit. Last thing for me, a lot of hype about Washington, man. They are really giving me Houston Texans vibes from last year. It is awfully reminiscent, deja vu personified. How everyone feels about the Washington Commanders going into 2025 is exactly how we felt about CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. And look, the parallels are insane. It's a rookie quarterback now going into year 2. They made a lot of noise in year 1. Both teams traded for a former All-Pro wide receiver. They got Deebo Samuel over there. They have a lot of cap space. They had a really good draft based on what, the majority was saying. You know how we feel about the draft. We got to wait and see. But this is the steps. Now, should they be the 4th favorite to win the NFC? No, I didn't think Houston should have been the 3rd favorite last year to win the AFC.
Yeah.
Now you have more national attention. You have more primetime games. You have an international game in Madrid where Taporia was wearing a Jaden Daniels jersey. It's like, now you're not. Now it's like, we got to stop this shit before it gets out of hand.
Right.
So I would just pursue with caution. This is another thing that I say about the betting space, right? Especially when it comes to like futures and making picks. That's why we always used to troll Josh, who would come on the show. And one year he gave 27 teams 12 wins. It's like, bro, it's not, the math isn't mathing. You can't have that many people do that well. So I say all that because, like, with the Commanders, the hype is so crazy that they're going to be a good team. But what the expectations are, where they're going to fall, it's like, you have to take stands in the betting space. Like, I can't take overs on every team. I got to just have some conviction on one player or one team and just be against them, right? It's the stand I took last year with Minnesota. I was wrong. But then I took the same stand with the Niners.
Yep.
The Niners were a Super Bowl contender. They were a top 6 favorite. And it's like, you got to try to see what other people aren't seeing.
Yep.
And you have to take a stand. And if it don't work out, bro, I said that Baltimore was going to miss the playoffs. All right, they started off 0-2, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
And then
and then they went all the way to being the top seed, right? Were they the top seed or
no? I think the Bills.
No, it was Kansas City again. Yeah, it was Kansas City. Yeah, because
a lot of teams with a lot of actually what Josh did in past years kind of would have worked for this past year. This
past year would have been appropriate.
It would have made sense.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like with Washington, I think they have a lot of promise. They're still not the best team in their division, right? So no matter what, you're going to be on the road again.
Mm-hmm.
Where at least with Houston, you're saying to yourself, they're going to host a playoff game at least. So I would just temper expectations because the expectations now are so high with Jaden Daniels. He's a top 8 favorite to win MVP this year. It's just like the parallels between the two teams. I would just take a step back because I still think that Philly's way, way better than them. They're not 40 points better than them. It's like 2 possessions though.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree with you. Yeah. I think what you have to find, like you were saying, that what bettors are trying to get as an edge is the thing that everybody is just already shooing in. Also, social media trend type of players and teams. Like, find those where the public is just so fucking down their throats glazing them. Those are the teams that you got to really put under the microscope, because it's not all that sweet. Not all these teams have no holes. And that Commanders team, as we saw last year, there's still a ton of room for improvement.
Yeah, and it's also like, you can't pick the same 14 teams to make the playoffs next year.
Yep.
Because we've seen that on average. Well, last year was another exception, right? But since they expanded to 7 teams in each conference, you're looking at about like 6 new playoff teams a year. I think last year it might have been 4. So you can't, if we come back here in September, we do our NFL preview show, and I'm like, yo, George, who are your playoff teams? And it's all the same teams from the year before. I'll be like, damn, bro, you're not paying attention to what history tells us.
Well, you're wearing history right now with WrestleMania 41. The Raiders got to make the playoffs.
Raiders got to make the playoffs, baby. Plus 280. We're gonna fire away on that.
That's the trend.
That's the trend. Yeah, there's certain trends, and everything is wrestling, as we all know. So, look, this is where you should start firing off on futures. I think now it's all systems go.
Yep.
You know when you're playing teams. You know how much rest you have, and it really dictates everything, bro. Because like I knew who the Giants were gonna play, I just didn't know they're gonna play them in the first fucking 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to make the moves now. Let us know what you guys think about your favorite team and their schedule, and if you guys like it. Okay, George, I want to ask you. I put this poll up on my Instagram because I was watching the Knicks game. Game 1 with my buddies, and they lost the way they lost. We'll get into that in a little bit. I had a same game parlay. I had two same game parlays. Both needed just the Knicks to win. Money line. And I bet like $70 to win $1,900. So when the Knicks end up losing that game the way they did, I kept telling everyone at the bar I was with, I was like, yo, I just lost $1,900. When you lose a bet, do you say you lost how much you wagered, or do you say what you lost out on? Because I lost $1,900.
Yeah.
And then my mom checked me, was like, did you bet $1,900? I was like, no, Ma, listen, depending on who's asking.
Correct.
Ma, let me explain to you. I only bet $70. I didn't bet the rent.
Yeah.
But I missed out on the rent. That's how I like to do it. How do you like to explain your bets?
Well, yeah, it's all about the person that you are explaining it to, because if it's a person that doesn't know betting at all, I automatically use the bigger number and I add 500 or round up to the next 1,000 or whatever, right? So like in your case, you said 1,900.
Yeah.
If I was telling that to a person that didn't know sports betting at all, I'd be like, I just lost out on $2,000. Doesn't make any difference that I'm a fucking liar. But I'm going to tell them that number. Now, if it's a person that I know that is in the betting space, I say it quick. You know what I mean? I lost out on 1,900, really 70 though, right? And then kind of give them like the little nudge where it's like, fuck, that sucked. So I do tinker between the both of them. However, when that number is like over $500, I tend to go to the bigger one. You know what I mean? Like if I put $20 down on a bet to win, let's say $200, I would say I lost $20. Now, if it was 20 to win 500, that hits that threshold. I am now saying I lost $500. And yeah, I think there's no shame in saying that you lost the amount that you never had. Because that was yours, bro. Like a parlay is also different than a straight bet.
Without a doubt.
Because you're fucking 5 legs into it. Like you've had so much happen already.
And that's
so
what
much
I mean.
winning.
I'm talking more so about like a parlay.
Got
like
it.
This is the last thing that need to happen. And I tried to get in on the Pacers live, but I couldn't because you're on a delay. Numbers are swinging all over the place, so I wasn't able to put that. But yeah, I always look at it as, especially if it's a parlay, if it's a future, right? Like, I had Eagles Bills to be the Super Bowl. I felt like I lost out on $4,500 because it wasn't.
Yep.
It was a $100 wager I made. Well, $200 wager. 18 to 1. So it's like, that's what I mean. I really only lost $200, but in my mind, I lost $4,500.
Yeah. And I would say 5,000. I would say if I was in your situation, I'd be like, I lost out on $5,000.
Yeah.
Just because it didn't happen, I'm just going to fucking just keep adding hundreds onto it, to be honest.
And one of the coolest responses was what we've been hinting at. Like, yo, it depends who asks me. If my wife asks me, I say that I lost how much I wagered.
True.
This was from Chris on Instagram. Chris sent a DM over there. He was talking about that. He found that really funny. But yeah, that was kind of the same way, you know, like shouts to Matty Betts. He reposted it and commented. He was like, he leans towards me. Like, you know, I say I lost $100,000 because so-and-so got tackled at the 1 yard line. And that's the only bet I lost.
It's also a good hook for a social media clip too. I lost that amount.
Yeah.
As opposed to I lost $70.
Yeah.
You lost me, bro.
It's way more appealing.
We lose $70 every day.
Yeah. I'll spend money on way worse, bro.
Come on now.
Way worse. Yeah. Let us know. How do you guys go about it? Because I think it's a really fun conversation. I'm someone that it's what I potentially could have had that I lost out on.
Game 1 was crazy. What are your thoughts on the Knicks?
Okay, so let me tell you, I was in New York, right, for the game, and you know when they say like you could hear a pin drop?
Yeah,
it was like that at the bar in the streets. It was not a good time. I was watching it with a couple of my friends, and shouts to Joseph. We were watching the game, and as we were leaving, you know, like we're leaving the bar, bro, and it's quiet. We're all like stunned. You're stunned.
Right.
Legit stunned, right? And I'm like, yo, bro, you know what's crazy, man? This game is so much more memorable when it doesn't happen to your favorite team. And then we all just started laughing. Because I was like, yo, this is the game that, like, if this was the Thunder and the Wolves and, like, Minnesota came back on Oklahoma City like that, you're like, bro, this is the craziest game I ever watched. When it happens to your team, you're devastated.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it was so quiet. And it wasn't until the third Naismith 3 that, like, your butthole kind of puckered up a little bit. You're like, could we maybe get a hand in the face? And it became the Naismith game, right? And then obviously Reggie Miller's calling the game, and he once did it to the Knicks in the past. And, you know, I was watching Miller Time on Winning Time or Miller Time, whichever the 30 for 30 was, like that weekend before, as I was in New York too. It was rough, man. And you know what I thought about, bro? And I think I might have texted you this. I know I tweeted about it. I think it's inevitable that the Knicks lose this series. And I hope I get cooked for this when I post it. Like, I hope everyone's like, oh, you fucking moron, you were wrong. Like, yeah, as a Knicks fan, I hope so. But I remember last year in the NBA Finals, after game 1, KP comes back and hits like the first 19 shots that he took. I'm exaggerating, but
yeah.
And you're just watching it, you're like, yo, he's doing whatever he wants to Dallas. There's no way they could win this series. I felt like it was such a bad omen that there's just no way the Knicks can win this series, in my opinion. And like, if I wasn't a Knicks fan, I'd feel even better saying that.
Right.
Like, as a Knicks fan, I hope I'm wrong. And I'm not saying this to hedge. It's just like, you know, it's your fandom is talking. But you don't feel that way, bro? Like, you don't feel that way watching series? Because you can't really talk about this in a game like in the NFL, right? Because it's like, well, if a team comes back down 28, you're not going to play next week in the playoffs. But in a series, it's like, bro, how did we give up 3 goals with 4 minutes left? And then, you know, like, and then we give up a shorthanded goal if you're talking hockey, or like, you know, it's bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes, you're down 5-0, and then they go on a crazy rally. It's like, bro, you're not going to come back from that. Like, you're not going to come back from that. So that's how I felt about that.
No, I all those things that you mentioned there, just it really highlights it. It was one of the most tragic moments in New York history. It'll never, that type of the sequencing, the Pacers are just like on an all-time run right now. It's like we're watching a documentary real time. The comeback wins, the Tyrese Halliburton game-winning shot with the fucking choke, the little choke sign right at Reggie Miller, and he should have done it at Spike Lee. I didn't see if Spike was there, that would have been fucking the cream on top. But I agree with you. I think that the Pacers are, I would go as far as saying like night and day better than the Knicks, but the Knicks can turn on this physicality and they play defense just randomly. And as far as what Thibodeau has done since game one, I think you tweeted about it too, with some of these rotational type of moves that he's making so late in the playoffs. Like I believe it was game 3 where you guys put a starting 5 on the court that hadn't been on the court together all season. How do you feel about that? Like, is this, let's just say hypothetically the Knicks lose this series, Tibbs is fired?
I think Tibbs is the kind of coach that even if they won the finals would probably still get fired. It's one of those kind of situations. Look, you've seen a lot of championship coaches get fired within like 18 months after winning a ring. We just saw Mike Malone get fired too. I think the one thing that really upset me about the Knicks is obviously everyone has always been saying about he should trust his bench. He should trust his bench. And he did. But I think what happens is like you kind of got to ride the waves of momentum. Right? Like Jalen Brunson, for as much of an icon as he is in New York, and I feel like a lot of people don't mention the fact that he took such a massive pay cut in order for them to build the team that they have now. That's why his aura, and he can go anywhere in the city and do whatever he wants and he's going to be fine. It's that also. There was a lot of reports coming out of, not reports, but comments from like Jeff Teague and some NBA guys being like, yo, all he does is dribble the ball out and then, with 6 seconds left goes to create. There is a lot of that I don't like. Like, move the ball around. I think for the Knicks to really be successful, instead of Brunson having 40, he needs to have 28 and then more assists, get other guys involved.
Yeah.
Right? Like Mikal Bridges, he's a really polarizing player on Knicks Twitter because there's some quarters he goes crazy and leads them to wins. And then he's locking up Jaylen Browns and Jason Tatum's. And then there's other times it's like, yo, aren't you not this like amazing defender? Or you can't buy a bucket?
Yeah.
I'm a big believer of you ride the hot hand, right? If I have a guy who's a $60 million player, but he's just not having it that night and we're down 20 and then the backups come in and they cut the lead to 3, I'm rolling with you guys.
Yeah.
And that's what I think he did in game 3. Right, Shamit. Deuce contributes a lot.
Yeah.
Like you had Wright coming in. You're like, where the fuck is he? I was watching the game with my friend John back home in New York, game 1. And like DeLon Wright came in for a couple plays. He's like, who the fuck is that? He's like, bro, I went to 30 Knicks games this year. He's like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then when you think of the Tibbs, and I'm only playing 6.5 guys, and now you're going 9 deep in. Look, it's a gift and a curse, right? Like you're tiring out all your players. They also made the lineup switch, which they brought in Mitchell Robinson to start for Josh Hart. Josh Hart is my favorite Knick.
He's tough, dude. He's
tough.
your Dennis Rodman.
He plays hard. His comments was like, yo, I kind of advised it too. I was like, yeah, man, whatever y'all want me to do to help us win, I'm in. And he got busted open in the Celtics series too.
Yeah.
And it's like,
by the way, that is the best position to play in basketball. All you have to do is just play tough defense and just go crazy for rebounds. Like that is the ultimate. You're going to win over every fan in the arena because you're making all the fucking hustle plays. You're not expected to score more than 10 points, 12 points, but you better get 10 rebounds. Like that is the best spot to play as a wing or a guard in the NBA. Oh my God, sign me up for that, bro. Because now all these bigs, like you're expected, like Mitchell Robinson, bigs have changed in NBA. You guys really don't have any bigs aside from Cat that lets it fire.
Yeah, no. He's the only
is your
one.
guy.
And like, yo, it's the other thing too is like, so if you go back to game one, right, which I think obviously if they end up losing this series, it's going to be because of that. There's 32.7 seconds left in the game. The Knicks are up 5. 22 seconds left. Brunson puts up a shot. Like, bro, what do we... And it's weird, right? Because, like, I don't know if you feel this way, but do you give certain athletes a pass if they've bailed you out in so many situations?
As far as that case study, of course.
Because that's the argument for like, yo, he's bailed us so many times.
Yeah.
All right, he fucked up this one time.
For sure.
I kind of lean that way, but also...
You said he put it up at 25 seconds?
No, at 22 seconds left.
Yeah.
On the shot clock.
Yeah.
I have the photo right here. So I'm showing George right now. You see that photo?
Yeah.
123, 118, 32.7 seconds left on the clock, 22 seconds, and it's a still of Brunson driving in on Siakam. And it's like, so I'm genuinely asking you, right? Like,
for sure.
He's carried them.
Of course.
But then in a crucial spot, he fucked up. So how do you feel about that when a player does that?
He's got some explaining to do in the game afterwards, but no, bro, I got his back. Now, if it was, because there was just so many things that led up to that moment, you can't put that on Brunson. Like if a team is, by the way, in that situation, the type of run that they were making, if you can get the ball in the basket when you're, even though the Knicks put up like 6 points in that run in game one, you kind of got to get the points when you can get them. So yeah, they get the pass in my book. But Jalen Brunson's a special case. Like, there's bailing out your team, and then there is, you're the best player to have ever put on this jersey. He's in that category. So, yeah, bro. He could fucking slap a baby walking down New York. He's still going to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's a special scenario there. If you don't fall into the category of best player to have ever put on that uniform, no shot.
No, that's a fair assessment.
No shot.
That's a fair assessment, because I always feel like, man, it's hard for you to. So like Lamar Jackson's a good example. Man, he's bailed you out so many times, and all right, in a big spot in the playoffs, he hasn't delivered. Last couple of years, it hasn't been his fault, right? Mark Andrews drops a pass. Zay Flowers goes to extend at the goal line, fumbles. So it's weird. I truthfully don't know the answer to this, but I'm just fascinated by that conversation. Like, is enough, or I don't know. I really don't know. It's a fun conversation to have because I see both sides.
I need to know now from you, after watching the way that they won game 3. Is there any chance in your heart that you're like, not only can they do it, but they can go on a run here to win the title?
Look,
that was a huge momentum. We both know momentum well. The momentum has officially swung because they didn't just win that game. They won that game when they were not supposed to win that game at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could make a legit case that the Pacers could be down 3-0. You could also make a legit case that Knicks should be down 3-0. You've had 2 games that, well, not game 1. Game 1 is crazy. Like, they're up 16 with 3.5 minutes left. Like, that doesn't happen often.
No.
Game 3, we've seen a bunch of teams come back down 20. The Knicks have done it 3 times this year. The Pacers have done it so many times too. So it seems like it's becoming more of the norm. And I've been talking about this for years. It's because of the 3-point shot. If you know that your team's going to make 23s, I'm probably going to bet you to win.
Yeah.
It's just, and with the Knicks, they got the contributions from, and I don't know if it happened with the Pacers. This will be a fun conversation to ask them one day if you get them like 8, 9 beers in. You're like, yo, bro, did y'all let up when you saw Shamet come in? And you're just like, all right, he hit one shot, or all right, they made one stop. Like at one point, you're like, this shit's gonna turn the other way. And then it doesn't. It's one of those nights where it doesn't turn the other way.
Yeah.
But Karl Anthony Towns, the 20 points in the fourth quarter. That was crazy. He really took over. And you know what? He was a big reason why they were in that deficit too. Because he only had 4 or 5 points in the first half. So you gotta look at it both ways, in my opinion. It's gonna be an exciting game 4. Game 4 just went final in the Wolves and Thunder series. We had it on in here. I'm a little upset, George, because I had the futures ticket on Minnesota.
Yep.
Perfect example. The NBA playoffs. Perfect example of what I said before. You got to take a stand and fade one team. And that's why I did. I faded the Thunder. I had futures on the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Wolves. Gonna lose them all. And it happens. That's part of the game.
Yep.
Right? I have a Knicks ticket. I didn't give it out as a play. It was strictly a homer pick, 60-1. I think the Thunder probably lose over under 1.5 games the rest of the playoffs. They're going back to Oklahoma City for game 5. The rest of the playoffs.
I'll go over. I think both teams in the East have shown me a lot. Like, I think the Knicks can win in unconventional ways behind Brunson and really just playing fucking crazy physical defense.
Because, bro, I can't even tell you that they're going to get one in the Garden because the Knicks are like 3-5 in MSG this year.
I know. It's crazy. Both teams in the East right now, I believe, are 5-1 or 6-1 on the road, both of them, in the playoffs, which is unheard of.
Well, you know what happens with New York, right? We didn't even get to talk on this. Game 2 in particular. I know we spent a lot of time on Game 1 and Game 3. The basketball gods saved me $1,500 because I was home Friday night. I'm like, I should go to the game, bro. Let me feel that New York energy at the Garden. 15, I'm doing well. I don't really spend money. Why not? Let me go. Thank God my one friend didn't answer the phone because he's always down. They saved me the money because what the fuck was that crowd? The crowd was flat. The problem with New York and MSG is that they've priced out the real fans.
Yep.
They've priced out the real fan where it's so expensive now. Bro, it was $1,500. You know where I was going to sit for $1,500?
You touch top of MSG, brother.
I was reaching the Monroe jersey and the 94 Eastern Conference Finals banner. That's where I was going to sit. I'm not talking about $1,500 like, yo, George, we're right behind fucking
Facts.
Halliburton. We could tell them like, yo, hit this free throw, but make sure y'all lose because we took the over on fucking 19.5 points. No, like that's where I would be sitting. But dude, in New York, the problem is it's such a transplant city. So many people go there for work, big city of dreams. A lot of the fans you see at Knicks games, it's all corporate.
Yeah.
It's you and I are from Ohio. We work in New York. We work for fucking JP Morgan or Deutsche Bank. And they're like, we got tickets for the Knicks game. George, you guys want to go? Sure, let's go. We'll have a couple drinks. We treat it like a happy hour.
Yep.
Maybe a little networking event. We don't really care if the Knicks win.
For sure.
And then those tickets are like $4K a pop. We get them for free. We're not going to say no.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool, George, for us to experience a conference finals game in New York? Yeah, let's go. There's a lot of that in the building. And it takes away very flat. No energy from the crowd. I can't even tell you like, yo, the Knicks are probably, if the Knicks make the finals, they'll win one at MSG because they just haven't had a good track record. And it's been like that for years too, man. You know, like in New York, it used to be a running joke and it kind of still is to this day where say the Timberwolves come into town, yo, go to Barclays. If you really want to see Anthony Edwards, go when the Wolves play the Nets because you can get into that building for $80 and have a good seat as opposed to $900.
Facts.
So that's what it was always like.
Fuck. Yeah, I think the crowd game too is a direct reflection to game 1 too. They wasn't just the players that got fucking crushed. Like that it rolls over. And I'm telling you the momentum swung. I'm excited to see what happens tonight. Predictions for tonight? Another close game coming down to the wire. I'm rooting for the Knicks to win this game and just tie it up. I want to see a series go 7 because based on what we saw with the Thunder tonight, I mean, that series it's over.
Yeah. Well, I think this is what happens with people that like the overreaction to games is crazy, right? But if you paid attention to the Thunder this year, they set an NBA record for most double-digit wins all season. This is what they do on bounce backs. Like in the off chance that they only lost like 15, 16 games this year, right? They're not a 14 games, 68 and 14 they went to be exact. They were 32-8 away. So like, yeah, that first game, you know, we always talk about the down 0-2 coming home for game 1. They were up like 40 at halftime. So that hit.
Yep.
Now they bounced back. And this is what to me makes Shea a mega star. Because he has 14 in game 3 and he's getting shitted on. He just won the MVP. He goes out and he gets 40. Bounces back. On the flip side, Anthony Edwards, 16 points. Julius Randle, 1 for 7, 0 for 3 from the field. Had 5 points total. He went 3 for 4 from the free throw line. So he got 1 bucket in that game. And this was another thing my friends and I were talking about. Like, yo, we fuck with Randle. Like, New Yorkers, they love Randle. Because, like, he was playing his heart out. Got to All-NBA with the Knicks. Kind of like was the first piece of this new, like this current form of the Knicks, right? Then obviously you only get Karl Anthony Towns because Minnesota treats him like a commodity. But the whole time, especially watching game 1, we're like, bro, this could have been the Randle game because he was like 6 of 8 from the field to start out. But it's like, bro, we've seen this before. This is what Randle does in a big spot. And the whole playoffs has been, Randle and Anthony Edwards together. And then when you get only 21 points from them two, and you actually get something from your bench, bro.
Yeah, they had 44 off the bench from DiVincenzo and Gilgeous-Alexander Walker.
Yeah.
And I think that the Timberwolves' biggest issue is you gotta just let Ant do whatever he wants, and he doesn't have full permission to do that yet. Like that offense today, I think he only had 2 shots like halfway through the second quarter or something. Like that, you cannot have that as a superstar player. No matter what the circumstance is, we are living and dying by you being able to put the ball in the basket. And they do the same thing where it's like, okay, so if it's not Anthony Edwards, then they're going to give it to Julius Randle. And then when they don't have anyone going, which is the fucking Thunder's dream, it's like, yeah, dude, I'll let DiVincenzo get 21 any night as long as I know that Ant's not getting shit. And it worked out for him. And that's the real issue with the Timberwolves. Ant doesn't have the full go to command the offense the way that he wants. And by the way, call me crazy. Like, he gets buckets. He is not that good. Tyrese Halliburton off the dribble, better than Anthony Edwards. I think out of the 4 superstars, Anthony Edwards is the worst one, and the 4 that are left between Shea, Brunson, Halliburton.
The worst one is crazy.
The worst one offensively. You need to get a bucket. You have Shea, Halliburton, Brunson, and Ant. I think he gets taken last. Now, defense, he's elite. He's physical. But I just think
weird because I think all of them do so many things different that makes them so good, right? The craziest thing about this Minnesota loss is they shot better from 3, from free throws, got more rebounds, assists, fast break points, fewer fouls, better field goal percentage, and they lost. Even when you do everything well and better.
Yeah.
You get 74 points from Williams and SGA, like the pillars of the Thunder. And now they're minus 425 to win the title.
It's everything you need to know.
Yeah, it just tells you, like, I thought whoever was going to win the West was going to win in 5 in the finals, and that's basically what these odds are telling you. And I think this was a really good game for the Thunder. Like, this game makes you actually believe that they can win the title because they haven't really been tested. Right? Like that. I really wanted them to lose game 5 to the Nuggets because now you're down 3-2 going into Denver. Let's see where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It didn't work out that way, but this was a good one too. We're like, yo, you just lost by 40 or 35, whatever it was in game 3, but you come back and you win a close game. It's very telling. It's very telling. I think it's going to be the Thunder.
Yeah.
I mean, no shit, minus 425, right?
Yeah.
So, not exactly.
I think we gotta root for these teams in the East just don't beat each other up too bad because I mean, bro, it's starting to look like the 80s style of basketball, and this is my favorite part of the playoffs where it's just the referees for the most part have completely swallowed their whistle above the 3-point line. Now, once, teams get going, I think the thing that we're seeing in the Pacers and Knicks series is that they are attacking the fucking rim viciously. And I'm still every game, dude. I'm more and more impressed with Brunson. Like best short guard that's ever played, and I'm a Celtic fan, and Isaiah Thomas was elite for a while. But he is it.
Yeah.
So
I want to end the conversation with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that, and we didn't really get to spend too much time on it, but it kind of ties into what happened at the end of the Minnesota game and what was about to happen with the NFL. People are complaining that Oklahoma City was sending Rudy Gobert to the free throw line at the end of the game because, he struggles with free throws.
Yeah.
So they go up and they're intentionally fouling him. They're up 125, 121, and they foul him, send them to the line. And then it was like the same shit that was happening with not just Rudy Gobert, but just in general, like just the fouling, right? Like intentionally fouling because that, they need threes, right? Yep. And they did it to Anthony Edwards. They did it to Naz Reid. And even if you hit both free throws, it's like, well, you're still not getting a 3, which is what you really need to close into the league. So my question to you, George, is this.
Yep.
I'm of a believer. I've told you this many, many times. When you step on a field, on a mat, you get locked into a cage, a court, whatever it is, you have signed a waiver to potentially get your ass beat.
Correct.
However, I'm going to do that. If it's in the rules, I'm going to do that. If I know you can't check leg kicks, you know what I'm throwing? 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
If you can't stop a takedown, you know what I'm doing? Single leg season. If I know you can't hit free throws, Mitchell Robinson, Rudy Gobert, I'm putting you at the line. Yeah, but you're up 5. That's exactly why I'm putting you at the line.
Yep.
Tush push. 22 teams voted against it. If they would have got 2 more votes, it would have been banned. Why? Because we could do something better than you? Y'all could QB sneak? What?
Yeah.
Fucking figure it out. It's a play. It's a part of the play. I got no sympathy for you. This is the most like 2025 Gen Z shit ever where we got to make it an equal playing field for everyone. No. Sometimes you got to get slapped and you got to get embarrassed and you got to be told, yo, we're going to do this. Do something about it. Bro, when I was in high school, I used to take penalty kicks. I'd be like, yo, I'm going right fucking there. I'm going bottom right. I'm going bottom right. And they wouldn't believe me. And I would go bottom right. And then when I would go bottom right, I'd be like, fuck boy. Like I was going, like, bro, I'm going there. What I do best when I take penalty kicks is I would go bottom right. I would have my back to the goalie when the ref would blow his whistle, full sprint to the ball, bang, bottom right. This is what I always did. What I would always do. If I have an advantage, I'm going to take it, bro. If I know you can't hit free throws, I'm putting you at the line. Do you have any problem with this at all?
Yeah, I have a problem with the way that the NFL is trying to get rid of this. And by the way, just to clarify, what the Packers had proposed was it wasn't the tush push that they were trying to ban. It was any offensive player assisting another offensive player carrying the ball by linking arms or by pushing. So the tush push falls into the category, but there's so many other situations in the game in which what happens would have been a flag, and we would have been fucking crazy confused this next season had this been pushed or passed, because it's not just the tush push, but it's fucked up. Like, if you can't stop it, get better at it. And I'm going to list off the teams that voted against the proposal, so to keep it alive. The Eagles, the Ravens, the Patriots, the Lions. Makes sense. Tough teams. Variable back in with the Pats. The Browns, the Jaguars, the Dolphins. Miami tough now, which is pretty cool. Good to know. The Saints, the Titans, and the Jets. The one team that isn't on that list, they tried to run the tush push and it failed on them, was the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
You don't see them trying to fucking get tougher and try to keep this in, which they're going to run that play. I think they were second this past NFL season in the amount of times that they ran the tush push, which is crazy. If that's one of your best plays, which Josh Allen was rather proficient in it, like, why not fucking keep it alive? But they're scared, but they got an easy schedule.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills are kind of like confusing me now. But I wanted to bring up all those teams because it was just interesting to me that they didn't fall on that side. And by the way, if they're this close to doing it, I think they're a year away from getting full approval. Like, you'll be able to convince a couple more teams.
I think it's corny.
It is.
It's corny.
It is. It's a weak move. That's why these are proposals. I like the way that the Green Bay Packers were trying to get cute with it, but the media ran with the narrative that it's the tush push. So that's the way it is.
And that's the thing too. It's like, yo, you could do this too.
Yeah.
You could do this with your team.
You can't get into a situation, and I was like this when I was in high school playing football. Like, you'd play against a team that ran the double wing option, and you just fucking knew that if it was 3rd and 2, you were fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let them get to 3rd and 2. Don't let these teams get to fucking 4th and 1.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And if you did, sorry, you lost. Restart. I think they got to come up with more creative ways on the defensive side. Like, literally like rugby locking and fucking trying to do like a scrum type situation. I think the Chiefs try to get creative. Do you remember Chris Jones almost got paralyzed?
Yeah, Chris Jones, and then Luvu with the Commanders. Remember when the ref was like, if you do this one more time, we're going to award a touchdown? We're like, where the fuck did this come from?
This is crazy.
Can we bet on this? Yeah, imagine you have Jalen Hurts anytime TD score, and then that happens, and it fucks your parlay up because the ref was just like, yo, you know what? We're going to award a touchdown.
That's
to
crazy.
who? The Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, what player? The Philadelphia Eagles. What the fuck is that?
Does that count for other? And if you put in like,
it would I feel like
anytime touchdown score,
you know
other?
What? I think that's what it would have to apply to.
And it would suck because other, which should be 1,000,000 to 1, would only be like 80 to 1, and you'd be like, fuck.
Yeah, and then it happens one time, and then it's going to be plus 400 the rest of the way. As always. Last, I want to end this conversation with this, right? George, there is nothing in sports that drives me. There's a lot of things, right? But this whole big market, small market debate, I think it's very lazy, and I think it's wrong. Because people are like, yo, if the Thunder go to the finals, who's going to watch this? I always say the same thing. We felt this way about Cleveland. We felt this way about Golden State. We felt this way about Kansas City. Felt this way about Buffalo. Who the fuck are these teams?
Right.
They're not the Knicks. They're not the Steelers. When you get generational talents, those teams now have aura, now have national attention because they got the players to do so.
Correct.
We don't know and I know I've had this conversation before about like the Nuggets. We had this conversation about the Celtics. This could be the start of something with the Thunder. Everyone's under contract. Everyone's young. They got a shit load of fucking assets still that they could ship out from Oklahoma City from like current players
Yep.
to the draft picks that they've accumulated with Sam Presti. We don't know if 3 years from now they're not going for a third ring in 4 years. And you just don't know, right? I think it's lazy. I think you should just enjoy it because they've clearly been the best team all year long.
For sure.
So this isn't some fluke shit where they just got hot. And it's like, no. They've been doing this all year. And you're going to look back at the Nuggets series because, like, the way that's going to age is like, fucking Jokic might be the MVP, bro. The fact that they went 7 with those guys and he didn't know what he was getting from Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon had to take like mad cortisone and fucking shots in his quad to be able to play in that game 7. And like Jamal Murray one night gets 40, the other night goes shooting tour dates 4 of 20 type shit. Like the Thunder, this could be the start of something where like 3 years from now, you're like, oh yeah, they have 62 national televised games on ESPN and TNT. You just don't know. And I think it's lazy. And if you see like they have a SGA under contract, he just won the MVP. He's 26, 27 years old. The whole roster is young.
Yeah.
They got one guy over 30. And this is something where you're looking at it like, yo, bro, this is a lazy take to have. Ratings are going to be fine. All right, maybe this year they're not, but you don't know what this is going to transition into.
For sure.
So I think it's just very lazy.
You're right. I think if they didn't have such great team aura, like if Shea, Chet, and Jalen Williams weren't on all the commercials that you see during these NBA playoffs, like even before the playoffs, I remember they were even in Super Bowl commercials. If they didn't have that, this does have some validity because I feel the big market, small market makes sense for a couple of sports. You mentioned football, but hockey, it matters. And in baseball, it matters. Where if you're not getting Yankees, Dodgers, like, bro, I'm not watching. TBH. And I mean, in hockey, shit, I couldn't even give you a matchup that I would fucking want to watch. I'm the wrong person to be talking about it. I actually kind of feel like all markets are small markets in hockey. No matter, even if you're in a big city, you're just a small market sport. But
there's a running joke that my friend Dylan has told me about hockey where it's like hockey people like to tell you that their stadiums are always full. And it's like, well, that's because every hockey fan in the town is going to the games.
True.
So it's like, how many of there are there really?
They're in that building.
Right? I might have butchered it a little bit, but
no, you're
I
right.
know, like on a per capita, when you like to get into that fucking realm, it's like they have the most sellouts, like year in, year out, most season tickets. It's like, well, yeah, man, how much is the demand? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I could be talking on my ass. The one time we had a hockey conversation on here, people were cooking us. So like, then we don't talk about hockey. Then they get mad that you don't talk about hockey. So you try to have
a Canadian team. See, this would make sense. Like,
so it's been since like the early 90s,
right? So now this is it. All right. If a Canadian team isn't in the Stanley Cup, which the Oilers, I believe, are ahead in their series or whatever, they're looking good. That would get me to watch. You know, aside from the Knights. But. Yeah, you know, I mean, the allure, it's so funny to me because ever since Vegas got a fucking hockey team, I didn't know that Canada's been struggling this bad. And my entire life growing up, I'm like, that's where the hockey players are.
Well, that's the thing though. Like the country hasn't.
For
They've
sure.
won mad gold medals and everything, but it's like the teams have not because the teams aren't all like Canadian also. You know, you got free agents and all that shit too. So, yeah, I think it's a really lazy argument because if you get, that's why I like to say like some players are underpaid, right? Who were the Golden State Warriors before this big three and Curry and Clay and Draymond? I talk about that all the time because it's true. It's like we didn't feel this way about Golden State. And then there was an argument just a couple of years ago. It's like, man, are we going to care about the finals without Cleveland and Golden State? It's like, oh, so now we want Cleveland and Golden State. 10 years ago, I was like, oh, no one's going to watch this shit.
Fact.
So you don't know. You got to just let things play out. It's just like with the NFL draft. Sit back, relax, wait a couple of years, let's see. And then you go from there. You know, we're doing a what if series over the next couple of weeks. We'll be airing that over the summer. And that has a lot to tie in with this, right? Like, what ifs, what happened? Like, yo, you look at the Raptors team in 2019 that won. Anunoby, Siakam, Kawhi, Van Vliet. Obviously, those guys weren't what they are now at the time. Norman Powell. Like, now they're way better players than what they were then. But you look at it, you're like, damn, bro, imagine they kept that fucking team together.
Yep.
Holy shit, you know, so, you know, the What Happened series will be
Wayne Casey.
In. Yeah. We'll be chiming in. All right.
We did good.
We might film something later this week. Got to figure out the schedules. But safe to say, I think we might be going to one a week until we get back for football season. If something comes up and we go to put out something, you guys will be the first to know. So all things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. Please go to the Patreon and join the Patreon for $1. We are changing the tiers. Look at this. Oh,
there we go.
shit.
I didn't want to forget.
Hell yeah, bro.
That's a hat you would rock, bro. I feel like I've seen you rock similar hats.
Hell yeah, bro.
A little Costa Rican action.
Yeah, I fucking like the color. I got sneakers that I can match with this too. This fire. I appreciate it, man.
Color of money, brother.
Yeah. Good colors. What was I just saying? So Patreon, $1. That's all we're asking for. Please join the Patreon, patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. Please go and change your tier. Drop it to $1 or the $5 tier for us. And yeah, we're going to continue to build. And then, week 5 in New Orleans. I guess that's what we're doing.
Oh, bro, it's going to be lit. Toilet bowl inbound. Praying for 2-2 for you, but honestly, 0-4, and we're there. That's rare. That's just as rare as seeing 2 undefeated teams.
You know what they got to do? Arch Manning do the coin toss.
Wow. That would be an all-time.
Arch Manning does the coin toss, and you're like, yo, listen, this is what
you wanted, right?
What you want, right? Nah, I'm a Jackson Dart believer. I need it to be true.
I want
it's desperation.
I know.
It's
I cannot wait until Jameis Winston throws his first interception in a Giants jersey. I can't wait. I can't wait for it for you.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to start Russ or Winston, and then it's like the savior comes in.
So much more aura than when Zach Wilson came to New York.
Oh,
like
yeah.
A white boy with like legit swag.
That's
like,
what I was saying.
Zach Wilson just hypothetically, or not even hypothetically, he was banging a MILF, or he was a MILF hunter. That was a story to make him seem tough.
Oh, bro.
Jackson Dart slaying MILF pussy on the daily.
Bro, there was a video of his ex-girlfriend saying that she cheated on him, and then they showed the girl that he cheated on her with. All the comments were like, I get it.
He's a savage, bro.
Hey, yo, when that happens, it's like, listen, man, I don't agree. I understand.
When the internet wins your fucking battles like that, or fights your battles,
yeah,
that's all time.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. We out of here. Peace.
I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.